All right, my friends, really pressed for time here, so this won't be a long live. I got to finish these November readings, and I had this Bitcoin reading with the sound recording. Sound quality was so bad, I'm re-recording it right now, or I just finished recording it, so it needs to be edited. But with that said, this should be pretty quick. Alright, so we've got lows here at the end of the day. That took place pretty solidly. There's a peak that's created in the last hour. Looks like we sell off from that, but then right before the close, probably a big move to the upside into a failed attempt to break through key resistance, and then more decline, probably more decline into the first. And you can see the card for November 1st is the failure card, which that's a cross-reading congruency. This is what I mean by sometimes the readings will bleed into each other on the edges, right? We've got the failure card here on the 31st, and the failure card here. So that's where we are as far as the sequence of events. You'll also notice the full card coming up. So tomorrow, I think if you're in a short position, tomorrow in the morning's probably a good place to cash out of that short position. Well, I mean that would be a solid place to exit a short, but then. Yeah, no, I would do it there. I would do it in the morning there. And then there's probably opportunity at the end of the day to hop back into a short. You could probably, I would say if you want it might be a little risky, but you could probably get into, if you see sideways rotation at a key support level, you could probably get into a long there. It's a little risky though because we've got lows here at the end of the day, but you could probably close out of it midday. I think probably the safer bet is to wait for opportunity here to open up a short. No, it's pretty tricky. We'll have to see how tomorrow goes to really guide you on that trade. It's a pretty tricky day with all these back and forth things going on. I think there's a pretty solid opportunity to open up a solid short position in the morning on the 4th, though. All right, guys. So if you're new to the channel, we just covered SPY. We're going to do Bitcoin, and then we're going to get into Q&A. We're actually going to cover Bitcoin by the day per request, just because we haven't been able to put out the November reading yet. It should come out tonight. A bunch of November readings all coming out tonight. I just got so slammed with all these like I don't know what you want to say, like non-work related things all happening at the same time. All right, so real quick, let's take a look at Bitcoin. I'm going to run through the November. And then as far as like the trades and all that stuff that the Bitcoin reading will come out tonight. But in the meantime, here's a guide on the day-to-day. If you're new to the channel, understand the timing is usually on point to the day, but it is not always on point to the day. The reason being, the way that the system works is these cards going left to right across the screen are what we call timeline cards, and they represent about 1 day of time. But not each card's energy will necessarily line up perfectly with 1 day of time. So it's important to give it plus or minus a day of wiggle room here or there. And most importantly, pay attention to the sequence of events as outlined by the prediction, because that remains accurate even if we're off at some point here or there in the reading's timing. Rarely is it off the entire reading, by the way. So so there's that. And then for those of you that actually want to trade this information, I highly recommend that you do that with Discord, with our live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts. To do it alone is a very difficult task. Even though we see what's happening ahead of time, anybody that's tried to trade this information without any guidance knows that to be a fact. It's not as easy as it looks, but with the Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts, it becomes a heck of a lot easier. All right, so here we go. On the first, it looks like based on where we are right now, and this was all of these were entries and exits based on the chart, so we were pretty solid with the reading right up until the 22nd. So like, it kind of went haywire here. Still the right pattern, but we expected to come down lower than we did first. So a little unfortunate there, but even so, looked pretty solid. Aside from that end piece, so it looks like we're probably declining into. I didn't pick up on it in the first recording. The second recording of Bitcoin I did, there's some sort of trough or decline into an important trough, possibly a lowest low here, or a lowest low thus far, I should say, for the month of November here for Bitcoin on the cusp of the first second, with a notable reversal and some volatility, with a sharp drop in that period of volatility taking place on the second. Sideways rotation on the third, ending with a fast sudden move higher, and there's some sort of tricky chart behavior there. I advise you to be very cautious. It might make you do the wrong thing. We rally into the fourth, into a key resistance, where we kind of like have flat behavior for a bit on the fourth. There's a rally on the fifth along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. On the sixth, we have a rally into key resistance, very likely the same resistance as a fourth. And then we turn around, when we hit that resistance, we turn around and we abruptly decline past the point at which the rally started. So kind of like an upside down V with a longer leg to the downside. A lot of price change into a trough on the cusp of the 6th, 7th. Sideways rotation on the 6th, 7th with a fast sudden move higher. It'll be an important support level on a multi-day scale that we rotate along. And then we attempt to establish support. Looks like volatility on the 7th. Another trough here on the 8th. We're likely to have a lowest low again. We attempt to establish support there. There's a rally within a period of volatility, taking us into a crest. Important on a monthly scale towards the cusp of the 9th, 10th. And from that crest, we should sell off down to and through support to break through another support and then do a U-shaped reversal below that support. Come back and reuse it as support. A lot of price change around the 10th involved with a important support level on a 1-year chart scale. And this is where I have the trade for the public version of the video is coming up. The entry is on the 12th. The exit is on the 13th with the backup on the 14th. I'm going to give you the chart behavior right now leading into that, leading into the entry. And basically what you want to do with these trades, guys, is you want to look for the chart behavior leading into them to get poised. If the chart behavior leading into the expected entry point doesn't transpire as expected, that would be a signal not to enter the trade. If it transpires as expected, like it usually does, that would be a signal to enter the trade. Super important to understand that. All right, so entry is going to be early in the day on the 12th into a long position at a trough on a multi-day scale taking place early in the day on the 12th. Probably within a period of sideways rotation. But the chart behavior leading into it, we're going to have this important support level on a 1-year chart scale highlighted on the 10th. Look for that important support level around the 10th on a 1-year chart scale of importance. And from that support level, we should see a move to the upside around the 11th, followed by a full retracement of that move back down into the trough on the 12th. So important support on a 1-year chart scale, followed by a pop and a drop around the 11th into the trough. That drop into the trough is the entry point. We should do some sideways rotation and have a big move to the upside either at the end of the day of the 12th, followed by a decline and then another big move to the upside at the beginning of the day on the 13th, or more likely sideways rotation into the cusp of the 12th, 13th with a big move from the bottom of range all the way to the top of range on the 13th. So when we hit the upper end of that range there early in the day on the 13th, there should be an important peak there. That's where you would exit the long position. It will be, you're looking for a big move higher starting out of a decline, going from the bottom of range to the top of range. Now, if that doesn't transpire, we're in the trade, and that doesn't transpire as expected, we don't see that big move to the upside taking place early in the day on the 13th, there's very likely either way, whether we see it or not, another opportunity to open up more of a position, a long position at the end of the day on the 13th. So if you don't see it on the 13th, I would say add to the position on, if you don't see the exit on the 13th, add to the position at the end of the day on the 13th, and then look for a fake breakout as the backup exit on towards the end of the day on the 14th. We should have a false breakout. It'll be a breakout on a multi-day scale, but it'll be a false breakout, meaning that it doesn't hold. It creates a peak and it doesn't hold. So when you see that breakout towards the end of the day on the 14th, if you haven't already exited the trade, that will be your backup exit. Never wait for backup exits using ESR meta-analysis. Go for the first one. Only use backups if they're necessary. Because, there's always more trades, my friends. Don't get into scarcity mentality and start thinking, oh my God, everything has to be perfect. Take the gain and run on to the next one. All right, so that's the solid trade that's going to be in the public version of the Bitcoin November reading that'll come out later tonight, along with Google, XRP, Theta, and Shibcoin. All right, so that false breakout on the 14th turns into a decline on the 15th, to and through support to meet another support. We rotate sideways along the support. There's probably an important trough around the cusp of the 14th, 15th as well after that, taking place after that false breakout. On the 16th, we have a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels, the decline ends with a fast 7 move higher, taking us into an important technical price level on a 1-year chart scale there on the 17th. Likely we decline back into a trough towards the end of the day on the 17th. Whether or not we do that, though, there should be pretty erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level throughout the 18th, probably starting on the 17th, moving through the 18th, and probably even into the 19th. But erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level on the 18th with the revisiting of an important crest or trough, hard to say. Based on it could be both, but usually what will happen is you'll revisit an opportunity that we recently just met. Towards the end of the day, a trade opportunity, open up a short, talk about it in the monthly access version in more detail. And then on the 19th, we have multiple field attempts to break through key resistance, an important trough on a multi-day scale, highlighted early in the day on the 20th with a fast sudden move higher out of it. And this cross-reading congruency, basically what it's saying to me is that the move that takes us into the highest height probably starts here on the 20th. What's a cross-reading congruency? I mean, here we have the swiftness card for the high of November, right? It doesn't mean that the swiftness card is on the 1 month is the timing of it, but it's indicating that that type of energy, that move has transpired or started to transpire here. So bringing us into a highest high somewhere around the end of the month. I talk about it in the monthly access version in more detail. So another move to the upside so it looks like fast sudden move higher out of that important trough on the 20th. there's likely a bit of a decline somewhere between the 20th and the 21st because we have an unexpected move to the upside out of it, creating a peak on the 22nd that we sell off from pretty notably into an important trough on a multi-day scale on the 23rd where we do sideways rotation. We rally on the 24th. Well, we do some sideways rotation and then rally on the 24th into a prominent peak around the 26th. It looks like there's a pop and drop there around the 24th. Oh, that's supposed to be. There we go. The date's off. That's supposed to be the 25th. Sorry, guys. Thought I just caught that. Alright, so pop and drop there. So we go from this rally higher into a drop, from a peak to a trough there. Some more sideways rotation, some mixed behavior on the 26th, like a sideways S formation within a channel, and then a lot of volatility, probably a lot of price change to the upside on the 27th, into a peak probably on the 28th. It's mixed behavior on the 28th. Looks like we decline from that peak, but the decline ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us into another important peak of some kind on the 29th. Usually the abundance card is either the high of the reading, or it'll be like a new high after forming lows of some kind. So that's up for discussion. We'll gain clarity on that as we move forward through November. Either way, there should be a peak here, prominent move higher, full retracement. And then the last day of the month, we've got the unicursal and we've got the devil card. So that's a pretty tricky day, guys. I would be very, very careful. Because this indicates a sharp drop. The devil card indicates some sort of intentional fake out or shakeout, but we also have indications of a higher price level in December. When we look at the 1 year though, it does look like it's mostly bearish, so it might be like right on the cusp that we see that high. It's hard to say. Hard to say. We'll see when we look at the December reading. And then a lot of price change covered involved in that high in December. A lot of price change covered on probably a 1 year chart scale, definitely a multi-day chart scale. So for the highest highs and the lowest lows, guys, as well as all of the trades that I see and access to the Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts, here's an example of the live updated trading view charts, guys. This was our if you're just joining us, these are entry, exit, entry, exit, entry, exit, entry, exit, entry, exit. This was entry, this was exit. We were off on this one trade, and we were off on this one entry. It didn't come down quite far enough for us to enter into it. Depending on how you look at it, we kind of tapped it, but we were expecting it the next day. So out of all of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Out of 11 entry and exits that were depicted on this chart, 2 of those were off. All right, I don't know what that is, but that's up there in the high 80s or the low 90s as far as accuracy and win rate. So that's the type of stuff that you get live access to. You see that in real time as part of the monthly access subscription on our website. You get that here under Order Now, subscriptions. Click here to order, monthly access, subscribe. It's $300 a month. Might sound like a lot of money, but considering the extreme edge that you get and the game-changing services of the Discord trade alerts, live Discord trade alerts and trading view charts, it's super undervalued. We're going to keep it undervalued because we want to help people, but that's where it's at. Much love and appreciation to everybody that does that, and no worries to those of you that don't. So let's get into the Q&A here. All right, so HUT tomorrow and next week. Oops. Is this Pizza Hut? This isn't Pizza Hut, is it? What is this Hut Corp? Hut 8 Corp. I've never heard of this one. Unless it's Pizza Hut, but I doubt it. Alright, so the remainder of this week and next week. So overall trend behaviors between now and next week. The end of next week. It's going to be pretty mixed. A sideways S formation within a channel, either sideways or slightly to the downside. Tomorrow we should have a pop and drop, or yeah, a pop and drop. Monday, notable reversal. A rally, probably rallying into Tuesday into a key resistance on a multi-day scale that we then decline from with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. 3 pokes through the same price level on Wednesday, followed by a sharp drop off of that same price level or same trend line. Oof, we got a universal hexagram for Thursday within a period of erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, we're likely going to revisit a crest that was an opportunity, or if we see the sharp drop taking place on Thursday, then I would say we were revisiting a trough in the midst of that erratic behavior. And then a lot of price change on that Friday. We have the Ace of Swords, meaning that in a multi-day, a important resistance level on a multi-day scale is highlighted that we should decline from and then return to in the not too distant future, making for a pretty solid trade there. Guide on Apple and Amazon earnings. Apple's one of the tickers that you would need total access on our website, Tarot for Traders, in order to scoop that up. Alright, so we want to know what the overall chart reaction will be in response to this earnings coming up. We have a rally offering opportunity to close a long or open up a short, more likely to open up a short. And if you're wondering, total access subscription, which I just mentioned, it's the premium subscription, the top level subscription on our website. Gives you access to all of our 1-year readings, Discord tickers, Discord chart alerts, all that stuff. Basically everything on our site. It looks like they probably meet their estimate on earnings. Probably slightly miss or slightly exceed. Hard to say. Hard to say what with the second one, but the results should be a rally offering opportunity to open up a short. And that does look about right. And then earnings for Amazon. Amazon is a ticker that we cover with the monthly access subscription, which I just showed you guys how to get. So we should see some sideways rotation and then a notable move to the upside into a failed attempt to break through resistance and a decline through key support. So kind of like a similar type of behavior, but maybe with a little bit of sideways rotation ahead of it. My sense is that they might have beat their revenue substantially. And it looks like their earnings they missed their earnings, but their revenue is up. That's interesting. So they probably had bigger expenses than expected. Is it advisable to open a SPY short to close? Tomorrow? And will Roku be higher or lower tomorrow? Let's check out SPY first. And then with that, I'm going to roll, guys, so I can get this November stuff done in time. I got a ton of work to do for December because we've got all those new tickers coming into play for the subscriptions. Yeah, I mean, I would say, see, you've got this is a correlation, not a congruency, but a cross-reading correlation to the failure card as well. I would say, yes, you could probably open up. So when I come back to trading, guys, I'm going to stick to day trading or long-term trading. I'm not going to do like overnight swings because I find that to be the weakest area. So my recommendation would be just to stick to the day trades. But if you're comfortable with swing trades, it's probably a place you could do it. What I would do is I would probably wait till the very end of the day here at the close. Like wait till like the last 10 minutes. What you're looking for is a notable move to the upside into a failed attempt to break through resistance. And that failed attempt to break through resistance, that's where you could open up the short if you wanted to. Again, the overnight relative opens in relation to the prior day's closes, probably my weakest area of prediction. So be careful, guys. Roku be higher or lower tomorrow? Let's see. Look at that tank. That's got to be some piece of news or something. Like what the heck happened there? Oh, the earnings. I missed that. I didn't see that. Sucks for them. But I mean, I haven't even used the Roku in God knows how long. It looks like we'll probably have a higher price level that we sell off from. I retract that. This one's a little unclear. Let me see if I can clarify for this. It's pretty unclear. Apologies, but I'm not getting a clear answer for that one. It was luck. All right. With that said, guys, I'm gonna roll. Thank you all so much for watching. Today is literally the last day where we can guarantee 2025 one-year readings will be out before 2024. I mean, before 2025 starts. Today's literally the last day, so if you're looking to get a 2025 one-year reading completed in time for January, highly recommend pulling the trigger today. The way that you do that, guys, go to our website, Joe for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on Custom Readings. You're clicking on 1 year report. We have a special where if anyone who orders one of these stickers, you can get it for $300. Normally the 1 years are $500. Ones that have already been done on this list, you could get for $400. If you want a new ticker, you get it for $500. And the thing about this $500 is that whatever ticker is ordered, it's also added to the total access subscription. So there's, at that point, there's live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view charts. And we got some info coming out about the Investor Profit University shortly. But with that said, guys, I'm going to roll. Thank you all so much for watching. Blessings to all my angel investors. I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.